What's up? All right, so all of these are extemporaneous, and I just kind of organize my thoughts as I go. But this one, I gotta call it. I've got to be honest about what I just did, and then I'll get into the really good stuff, like the mental health and the oath, and all of the really, really good stuff that is going to become standard human behavior. Okay, but I just want to say, I do believe in mercy. I do believe in giving people chance after chance, but at some point, this is just got to be said. Like, this is different. What I am offering is literally world peace and prosperity. And whatever is important to these folks is simply not important at all. And it just isn't as important as this. It isn't. There isn't anything. Like, what could possibly be more important than ending poverty? Nothing. We have a mutual vested interest in that. Like, again, like the cost alone of keeping poverty alive is really sick and disgusting. It's wrong, but like, we have a legitimate end for it. But because some people are just relentlessly uncooperative and mocking and blaming and self-righteous and like literally embodying the 7 deadly sins and just creating an impasse just to, whatever, they have plenty of them. Like, this should have been done over a year ago. So this is different. What I'm doing, a little divorce with, or just letting the family break. It's not ideal. It is a thing in the past. In the future, it's not going to be a thing. Thank God. Because family trauma is not really recoverable from. I should have died a lot of times in a lot of different ways. Thank God for music. I sing a lot. Especially after my voice was unlocked. It's the thing that I engage in most. When I was homeless from really Jerome on, I didn't have any instrument. I was just singing and writing. If I had a notebook, I often didn't. I made the actual best with what I actually had, no matter what. Which, again, is the standard attitude. Life is bigger than me. I'm here either way. I'm going to do my actual best with what is actually right in front of me. Yeah, music kept me alive. It's, I mentioned in a couple of videos ago, who you model your life after, who you look up to and claim as heroes. They're going to shape your life. I've never believed in limits. When I learned about Jesus, I was crazy enough to say, okay, well, if he did it, so can I. Or why can't I? Not necessarily like the bullshit metaphors that we call miracles. Like, I can't turn this coffee into anything else. Like, that's not going to happen. Those are metaphors. So if you understand the metaphors, then it's actually practical. And I will talk about walking on water again. I did that on my original YouTube a year ago, and it works. When we figure out that we are capable of a lot more and we can, get above our emotions and transcend them or dissolve them or transform them, then, it's really an empowering thing. And that's the thing. Like, all of this is super empowering. The entire message is very empowering, but, I just got to be honest about family trauma is not something that should ever, ever, ever occur. You break a family, you break a community. And it starts with breaking a person. If there is undue strain on one person in a group, it brings down the entire group. I used to say that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Well, we want to make sure everybody's strengthened, but let's talk about the other links. If there is undue strain on any of them, that's going to break, and it's going to, sacrifice the integrity of the chain. Like, if one person suffers, it brings down the entire group. We need to be on the same team. And it shouldn't matter who the mouthpiece is. It should not matter who the voice is. It should not matter. We have all the rhetoric. All men are created equal or whatever. It's like, okay, if you actually believed that, then what we consider normal would be vastly different. There would be no divorce rate. There would be no suicide rate. There would be no, armed robberies, there would be no desperation. When you put people in desperate situations, you get whatever you get. I am supposed to be dead. You put anybody else in the situations I've been in since 2019, you get murder, suicide, arson. That is what you get. Okay, you get the worst of tragedies. You create serial killers. I did my actual best, and it was enough to get through. I have no idea how. Like I mentioned, I had music, and thank God I looked up to the people that I did and that I didn't believe in limits, but I had zero people to talk to. I had zero, like nobody was able to have an important conversation at all. There was one at Weber Human Services page. She, as I think back, you were the only one that I felt like was an actual human being. Like I didn't have to, I am so grateful. I don't know if that was an act or anything. I really don't. Like years of gaslighting from multiple angles is going to ruin your sense of reality. But, I tried my best to stay strong and focused on the things that are most important. Not to me, but to like life in general, to like life and love and things like that. And it comes down to full truth and full, that kind of thing. So at the end of the day, if no matter what, it has made zero difference how I have evolved, how I have been flexible, how I have changed my approach. It does not matter what I do. These people are absolutely impossible to communicate with. Impossible. And they cling to the past. A picture of me when I was 2 or 3 is more important to my former dad than I am right here, right now in the flesh. He looks up to Nazis. He looks up to slavery. On some level, if you are constantly watching those things, it is informing you and you are getting those ideas and they are like informing how you are treating people. It informs your worldview and it destroys it and you're not doing anything to counter it. And when truth actually does enter, you think opinions are equal to truth and it's just not the case. Like everybody is totally lost in the sauce. I can't. So this is unprecedented for me too, because I believe in mercy and I wanted so bad to, heal the family. That's what I was telling people in jail. That was what I told a lot of people along the line in various cities. It's like, gonna get the family back together and things like that. But now I couldn't care less. Like not only the damages, I don't hold grudges. It's just the fact that they keep doing the same things and causing the same traumas. It never stops. They will not stop. I have zero value. What's actually important in life is not important to them. They would rather mock God. They would rather mock the creator and life and everything and think it's funny and, be sarcastic and snarky and make threats and blame and all of these things. It's like, okay, this is 100% not me. Like, I don't necessarily believe in taking sides and everything, but it's like, this is as black and white as it gets. Like, you are 100% in the wrong. I don't know or care what you've been doing behind the scenes, because if it never makes it to the surface, people remember how you make them feel, and if it is the same thing every single time, this is an important conversation. We need to move forward. And they just are clinging to the past and never present and then we have no future. I should be in Bilthoven, Netherlands right now, married, having the time of my life. You should be wherever you want to be and having the time of your life too. We should be living in peace and prosperity right now for over a year. Because frankly, a year ago, it was good enough too. We could have figured it out, but things progressed and now it's to a point where it's just like, your priorities are they're never going to get on the right page. So I have to move on. If I want a future at all, it has to be without you. Those are the choices. That's the consequences of your choices. You've committed them. Despite, looking up to every ounce of earthly wisdom, but relying on greater wisdom no matter what. It kept me alive. And it also informed the lyrics that I was writing. A lot of people in situations like these would turn into like maybe more Papa Roach or Stained. Not that that's any bad thing, but I notice with certain musicians, they kind of stay stuck in the pain, and that's really sad to me. And I notice that because, not only are you locking yourself in a loop, and I want to get you out, but they're kind of doing that to your fans too. You're doing the same thing that I'm saying about my former parents. If you're watching Nazis every day, that's informing something. Like, it's not an exaggeration. That's how psychology works. And if you're doing zero to counter that, then that is gonna become your real life of you. And I noticed that a long time ago because I listened to a lot of Maynard's projects and things. So I with that noticing okay, album out after album with some of these other groups, they're just kind of talking about the same thing and reinventing the wheel. But I notice with Maynard and his projects, he's trying new things, and it's not all the same. It progresses. I noticed that. And then getting a degree in psychology, minored in philosophy, especially ethics and aesthetics, logic, deductive logic. It's like getting this wild hair. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to be stuck here. So maybe I start here, but then I move somewhere else and kind of bake cognitive behavioral therapy into my lyrics. And so that's what I did. I've heard it said before that music is my therapy or whatever. No, music is my practice for your therapy. It's a bit bigger, huh? So, that just kind of stuck. And then, despite being homeless in the throes of extreme poverty, from July till Christmas Eve, I had less than 50 cents. Yeah, from probably July 20 something. Yeah, 50 cents. And then I went into the Magic Mouse toy shop on First Ave in Yesler, I think. And I bought myself a piece of candy. It's 40 cents. That was my big purchase of the entire autumn or late summer or whatever. It was my only one. But I loved it. I think it was a lime Tootsie thing. Anyway. But yeah, this is unprecedented. A verse that might have precedent in it is, I, the Lord, will forgive whom I will forgive, but of you it is required to forgive everybody. With divorcing former family here, I really do think that if you can make room for people, then do. But also at the same time, it's if you're being carpet bombed every day by gaslighting bullshit, do what's healthy. I'm able to coexist. I'm able to truce, but I will never try to have an important conversation again. It's just, you are absolute monsters. You decided to be. The choices that you've made at my expense for my mental health, for literally the cutting episode that I had, preventable. Relapsing into alcohol, preventable. Smoking cigarettes, preventable. Every single tiny thing is preventable if you had just listened, understood me, and tried to support me in the direction I was going in life. You never cared. It's that simple. You never cared. And if you did, you did not show it, and you never cared to adjust. In 2019, I got us signed up for group counseling, for family counseling. Didn't work. We went to one or two. They were sarcastic and mocked it. It shows their character. You have zero interest in anything that is actually effective in life. Okay. So, just got to get that out there. I hope that this is the last broken home family divorce kind of thing. They deserve it. And I deserve better. I never really said that out loud. Love wants to include. I spent so long trying to try to heal us, and it never worked, and it's okay. They deserve it. And everybody deserves better, including them. I do hope they come around someday.